The PGA Tour is about to welcome back the one player that half the locker room never wants to see again. What is going on in professional golf right now? Seriously, I have been covering this sport for a long time, and today feels like one of those days where you sit back, take a breath, and go, did all of this really just happen at the same time? Because right now, we have two stories running side by side that could not be more different from each other. One of them involves a name so big, so controversial, so polarizing, that just saying it out loud is enough to split an entire golf fan base right down the middle. And the other story? It is the kind of moment that reminds every single one of us why we fell in love with this sport in the first place. A rookie, pure pressure, the biggest stage, and the kind of finish that makes the hairs on your arms stand up. Now here is what I want you to think about as we go through today's video. By the end of this, and I promise you, stick with me until the end, you are going to hear something about the future of the PGA Tour that almost nobody is talking about yet. Something that could change everything about how this tour operates over the next 2 years, so do not click away. But before we get into all of it, welcome back to LIV PGA Tour, the channel where we cover everything happening in professional golf every single week. The drama, the rankings, the majors, the moments behind the scenes that the mainstream media glosses over. If you are new here, hit that subscribe button right now. We are on our way to 10,000 subscribers, and every single one of you is part of building something special here. Hit subscribe, hit the bell, and let's get into it. Bryson DeChambeau, the bombshell. All right, let's start with the story that is absolutely dominating golf conversations right now. Bryson DeChambeau. Now I know, just hearing that name triggers a reaction in you. Either you love him or you think his departure to LIV Golf was a betrayal. There is almost no middle ground with Bryson, and that is actually what makes this story so fascinating. Because this week, Bryson said something that flipped the entire script on what we thought we knew about a possible PGA Tour return. He did not talk about contracts. He did not talk about money. He did not attack LIV. He did not praise the PGA Tour. Instead, he asked one question. He said, and I want you to really hear this, he said the real obstacle to a return is not the executives. It is not Brian Rolap. It is not the board. It is whether the players want him back. Think about what that means. Bryson DeChambeau, a US Open champion, one of the most recognizable names in world golf, is essentially saying he needs permission, not from the suits in a boardroom, from the guys in the locker room. And that is where this gets genuinely complicated. Because look, we all know the history here. When LIV Golf launched, the departures felt personal to a lot of PGA Tour players. Rory McIlroy went to war defending the tour. Other players felt abandoned. Sponsorships shifted. Rankings were affected. And for some guys still grinding every week on the PGA Tour, watching LIV players collect guaranteed money without competing for world ranking points, that stung. So now you have Bryson essentially walking up to the door and knocking. And the question is, who opens it? Music picks back up slightly. Now here is where the timeline becomes really important, and this is the part that changes everything. Reports confirmed this week that Saudi Arabia's public investment fund has decided to stop funding LIV Golf after the 2026 season. Let me say that again. The money behind LIV Golf, the whole reason it existed, the reason players left, the reason this entire war started, that funding is ending after 2026. And Bryson himself admitted he was completely blindsided. He said LIV leadership had previously told players the league was financially secured all the way through 2032, and now suddenly it ends after 2026. Can you imagine being a player who made a career-altering decision based on that promise? Can you imagine restructuring your life, your brand, your relationships in the golf world based on financial security that was supposed to last a decade? And now it evaporates. That is not just a business story. That is a human story, and I think it deserves to be treated that way. Hey, real quick, I want to know what you think right now. Drop a comment below. Should Bryson DeChambeau be allowed to return to the PGA Tour? Yes or no? Simple as that. I am going to read every single comment on this video, and at the end, I am going to share what the HOY PGA Tour community actually thinks. Also, if you have not subscribed yet, do it right now. We are pushing hard for 10,000 and we need you. Okay, back into it. Because it gets even more interesting. The content creator angle here is a layer to this story that I do not think enough people are taking seriously. Bryson DeChambeau has over 2.6 million YouTube subscribers. 2.6 million. He has done content with Donald Trump, Carlos Alcaraz, Stephen Curry, Grant Horvat, Garrett Clark, some of the biggest names across sports and entertainment. And Bryson basically came out and said, if he does not renew with LIV Golf, growing his YouTube channel is absolutely something he would pursue seriously. Now, I want you to think about what that means for the future of golf media, because we are living in a moment where the attention economy is everything. The PGA Tour's traditional broadcast model, Saturday afternoon coverage on NBC, Sunday on CBS, occasional primetime specials, that model is aging. Younger fans are not sitting in front of a TV at 3 p.m. on a Sunday waiting for coverage to start. They are on YouTube, they are on Instagram, they are watching 10-minute videos of golfers doing wild things on courses, or breaking down their swing mechanics, or playing money matches with NBA players. Bryson understands that world better than almost any professional golfer alive right now. And here is where it gets really interesting. And this is something that is going to become a massive debate if Bryson returns. He openly said that while he was on the PGA Tour, he repeatedly asked permission to film YouTube content during tournament weeks, and he was denied. He also said that Grant Horvat and Garrett Clark, two of the biggest golf content creators in the world, faced similar restrictions around filming practice round content when they were at tour events with members. Now, the PGA Tour pushed back on this. They said creators who are not members operate under different guidelines. They said players are allowed to create content during practice rounds and pro-am events under current rules. But here is the thing. Even if the tour is technically correct on the rulebook, Bryson's point still stands on a bigger level. Professional golf is losing the battle for younger fans. Full stop. And the players who understand social media, who understand content creation, who understand how to bring new eyeballs into this sport. Those players are assets, not threats. Bryson literally said filming videos during tournaments should bring value to events, not hurt them. And I think if you polled 1,000 casual golf fans under the age of 30, the people this sport desperately needs to attract, most of them would agree with Bryson. This is the tension at the heart of professional golf right now. Traditional structure versus modern entertainment. Control versus reach. And whoever wins that argument, they shape what golf looks like for the next generation. Okay? Stay with me. Because in about 10 minutes, I am going to share something about the returning members program and what Brooks Koepka's move earlier this year actually signals for the next wave of LIV returns. It is not what most people think, and it changes the math on everything we just talked about with Bryson. Do not close this video. But first, let's talk about the story that honestly gave me chills on Sunday afternoon. Kristoffer Reitan, the dream. I want you to remember this name, Kristoffer Reitan. Because if Sunday at the Truist Championship in North Carolina was any indication, you are going to be hearing it for a long time. The Norwegian rookie, 20-something years old, still early in his professional career, still proving himself at the highest level of the game. And on Sunday, he went and won his first PGA Tour title, 15 under par, 2 shots clear of Rickie Fowler and Nicolai Højgaard. But the scoreline does not tell the real story. The story is how he did it. Because Sunday was absolute chaos. Alex Fitzpatrick came into the final round leading the tournament. He looked composed. He looked ready. Fitzpatrick is a quality player. He has shown that multiple times on tour. Then Rickie Fowler, 7 shots back to start the day, went out and shot a front 930. 30. That is not a typo. The crowd was electric. Social media was going insane. Everyone who watches golf knows what Rickie Fowler means to this sport emotionally. The fans who love him were losing their minds, and suddenly you had 4 players who could genuinely win this thing. Fitzpatrick at the top, Fowler charging, Højgaard threatening, and Reitan quietly, steadily, doing what great champions do, staying in his own world. The turning point came at hole 15. Reitan stepped up and made a clutch two-putt birdie. Clean execution, no drama, no panic. Meanwhile, Fitzpatrick's wedge buried in thick rough on a par 5. Recovery scramble, bogey momentum. You could see it shifting right there. Then, hole 16. Højgaard makes bogey. Door opening wider. Then, hole 17. And this is where Fitzpatrick's day completely fell apart. Double bogey. Rough mistake. The kind of hole that players relive in their sleep for months afterward. And suddenly Kristoffer Reitan, the rookie, the guy nobody outside of Norwegian golf circles was crowning before this week, had the tournament in his hands. 3 holes left, lead in hand, the whole world watching. You know what the green mile means in golf? The final 3 holes when everything is on the line and the pressure is so heavy you can almost hear players breathing differently. Reitan played those 3 holes in even par. Even par. No heroics needed. No miracle shots. Just ice water in the veins and a par on 18 to close it out. That is a champion's finish. Full stop. Rickie Fowler and what it means. And listen, before we move on, I have to talk about Rickie Fowler for a moment. Because even though he did not win on Sunday, his performance mattered. Final round 65, starting 7 shots back, briefly grabbing the lead, making that stretch of birdies that had fans jumping off their couches. You could feel something in the air every time they cut to Rickie on Sunday. That is not something every golfer has. That is not something you can manufacture. People genuinely love watching Rickie Fowler play golf. They want him to win. They emotionally invest in his career in a way that is rare. That missed 6-footer on 16, birdie putt that would have extended his lead. That one hurt. You could see it on his face. And every Rickie fan watching felt that with him. But here is the thing. This performance proves Rickie Fowler is still capable of competing at the highest level. And for a guy who has had stretches where that felt uncertain, Sunday matters. All right, we are almost at the finish line. And I promise you the last part of this video is worth staying for. But real quick, comment below right now. Who do you think is going to be the bigger story in golf 6 months from now? Bryson DeChambeau's PGA Tour return situation, or Kristoffer Reitan's rise? I genuinely want to know what the Hawaii PGA Tour community thinks on this. Drop it below. And if you have been watching this whole video and you still have not subscribed, what are you doing? Hit subscribe. Help us hit 10,000. We grind every single week to bring you real golf content, and your support means everything. Okay, here we go. The part I promised you. Let's talk about what is actually happening behind the scenes right now. Because the Bryson story is not just about Bryson. Reports this week confirmed that Brian Rolab, the PGA Tour's commissioner, is actively interested in bringing major stars back through the returning members program. And here is the name everyone keeps glossing over. Brooks Koepka. Brooks already rejoined the PGA Tour earlier this year through that very program. And his return was not just symbolic, it was strategic. It was a test. The tour wanted to see how players, fans, and sponsors would react to a high-profile LIV player coming back. And the answer? The reaction was fine. Maybe better than fine. Which means the door is now open wider than it has ever been. Sources say multiple LIV players have already made contact with both the PGA Tour and the DP World Tour about possible reinstatement. Multiple players, not 1 or 2. Multiple. And with Saudi Arabia's PIF pulling funding after 2026, the entire LIV ecosystem starts looking very different very fast. Think about the names potentially in play here. Jon Rahm, Cameron Smith, Bryson DeChambeau, players who left with massive guaranteed contracts and now face a future where those guarantees evaporate. Where do they go? The PGA Tour is the answer. The only real answer at the elite level globally. But, and this is the part that nobody is fully addressing, the terms matter enormously. Ranking points, exemption categories, event access, content rights. These are not small details. These are career-defining terms. And Bryson, specifically, has already made clear he will not come back just to be a normal member with restrictions on his content and his brand. He wants to come back as a partner in growing golf. not just a player checking in every week. That is a fundamentally new kind of negotiation. And honestly, I think the tour needs to have it. Because here is the reality of where professional golf stands right now. The split with LIV hurt everyone. Fans are exhausted by the politics. Young viewers are drifting toward content creators and YouTube matches rather than traditional tour coverage. And some of the most compelling personalities this sport has produced in a generation are scattered across two competing leagues that were never actually good for each other. Golf is not better because of the split. It is just louder about it. A genuine reunification, done right with smart terms, respecting the players who stayed loyal and giving fair pathways to those returning. That could be one of the most exciting moments in professional golf since Tiger's comeback in 2019. So here is where we land today. Two stories, completely different energy, but both pointing at the same thing. Golf in 2026 is at a genuine crossroads, and the decisions made over the next 6 months, in boardrooms, in locker rooms, in contract negotiations, and yes, even in YouTube comment sections, are going to shape this sport for the next decade. Bryson DeChambeau represents the complicated, messy, uncertain future that golf has to figure out. Kristoffer Reitan represents the pure electric reason we all care about this sport in the first place. Both stories matter. Both need to be told. Now here is what I want you to do right now. Number 1. Drop your comment. Bryson back on tour, yes or no? And how big does Reitan's career get from here? Number 2. If you enjoyed this video, share it with one golf fan you know. That is all it takes to help HOI PGA Tour grow. Number 3. Subscribe if you have not already. We are putting out golf content every single week that goes deeper than the highlights. Real analysis, real conversations. And one last thing before you go. Next week, I have information about a specific conversation that reportedly happened between a former LIV player and PGA Tour leadership that has not been reported anywhere yet. I am not going to say the name today, but if you are subscribed, you will be the first to know. Stay locked in. I will see you next week on HOI PGA Tour.